Hey everyone, Infinite's out, which is weird, but I'm happy. We'll take it. I mean it's beta, but like, what the fuck? I didn't think it was actually gonna come out. I've been playing a little bit. I think I have like 15 or so hours in the game so far. Like it when I thought I would. I knew it was gonna be pretty good, but I didn't have a whole lot of high hopes for the maps. But the maps have actually been pretty good. But I want to talk about the three probably biggest tips I have so far for people. Try not to make these like the do your settings right and like, I don't know. Try to do things that like people wouldn't think of. This I actually had to alt tab out because I was throwing. I think I was losing. Like, I did a lot at the start of this game. I just had to like walk away for a second, reset. I think we ended up winning. So do that. It's not one of the tips, but like, if you're just like brain is shut off and you're feeding, like actually take a break, take a breather, come back and actually use your head in the game. But I think by far the biggest tip I have is just stop dying. The maps are designed in a way that's really, really hard to force a one-on-one against somebody where you have an advantage. A lot of people will make a lot of mistakes challenging and like fully taking one-on-ones from full shields to death where they shouldn't be. And you should exploit that by only taking fights where you have an advantage. You can do a lot of damage from a lot of places on like most of these maps, and you should be doing that. And then kills will just come your way naturally, either from people messing up or from people being weak that you can pick off, stuff like that. But you can do a lot of damage in this game, and even this is one of the more open maps. Like, as you can see, it's pretty hard for someone to force a one-on-one where you're at a disadvantage. I mean, you're gonna die a lot just from like your team getting wiped and them pushing properly, or as you're learning the map, like you'll be in a position where you get caught out. But just take your death and learn from it. But in general, try not to force one-on-ones unless you know you have an advantage, and just do your damage while you can. You'll be super useful. But the second thing I have is actually related to one-on-ones, and this game is fucking hard to aim in. Like, it's harder than any other Halo I've played, which I think is a really good thing. But learn how to match strafes. I don't know how many of you like actively think about your strafe. I know my brain shuts off most of the time just because I have like ingrained Halo 3 strafe, which is like left, right jump or some shit. Just because in that game specifically for Halo 3 and like Halo 2 and stuff like that, the aiming was so much more forgiving where you didn't really need to use your movement to assist your aim. You could, and it was definitely useful. But I had a lot of luck using my strafe strictly to try to get someone to miss a shot, which is a completely valid way to do it. But with how little aim assist you have in this game, and with how fast you move too, the acceleration of movement is much different. So like, strafes are much more aggressive in this game. If you can use your movement, so your AD or your left stick, to match the other person's movement where you don't actually have to use your right stick or your mouse to aim, you're gonna hit way more shots. Which people who aren't doing that will have a hard time aiming. And then also with how hard the aiming system is in general, a lot of people miss a lot of shots. Like, I win a lot of BR fights that I shouldn't be winning just because people are bad, and fucking I place diamond. So like, I'm not playing the worst players, and I miss a ton of shots still. And like, I don't know, aiming's fucking hard, man. But using your strafe to help your aim is gonna be a big deal. I wish I'd streamed so I could grab some clips for examples for it, but my GPU is currently dying. I bought a new GPU bundle though, so hopefully that's here soon. I can actually stream the game and have like more examples to go into more in-depth stuff. But yeah, just pay way more attention to how you're actually moving in fights, and try to move with the person you're shooting, because people miss a ton. So if you don't miss, you're gonna win the fights. Not that you should be taking them, but if you do, match strafes. Then the third thing is actually just learning the maps. Specifically, if you play with people, learn callouts. A lot of stuff in this game are just fucking not obvious. And like, a lot of the callouts under the radar are just like way too wordy. I think I'll actually do a full video later on callouts and what makes an effective callout and what makes a bad callout. But if you play with other people routinely, you should go through the maps and find callouts. I think my favorite map is Streets, and that is so fucking hard because, like, other than Purple Street, everything looks the fucking same. So, like, there aren't really natural callouts on that. There's, like, the arcade that's somewhere, and, like, Subway is this giant area of, like, 4 actual places you have to care about. but because of how like sort of convoluted those maps are, and they don't read well, and I'll get into that in a second. If you play with somebody and you have good callouts, you'll have a huge advantage. But yeah, like I was saying, these maps, they don't read well, which I don't know how familiar you are with what like reading means as far as visual terms, but like it's basically how long does it take to get significant or not significant, meaningful information out of what you're looking at. Like if you look out of a top base on Heretic and Halo 3, you see the pink tower and carbine, and they're very fucking obvious which one is which. You don't really get that. Like my favorite map is Aquarius on here. Well, it's probably Streets. Aquarius is up there, but like the side of Aquarius, it's not obvious which side you're on when you load into it, but it's very obvious when you're on Heretic. So learn the maps. The better you get to move around it, the more you'll win games. I mean, just having one shot on people is such a big deal, and the people miss all the time. So if you can get the first shot and do the match strafing thing, you'll be killing people a ton. Yeah, I think that's really about it. I have like what 15 hours in this or so. It's been fun, but I think those are probably the three biggest things that I would recommend working on. Go play people. Playing people is important, and working those three things, I think you'll do well. Hopefully my GPU gets here and we can actually stream the game and have some fun. Until then, thanks everyone, and good luck in your games.